Hey, what's going on, guys? Felix here from Shopify Masters Podcast and Podcasting Secrets. And today I want to talk to you about this concern that I think a lot of you guys have, which is how do you promote your podcast on social media, what you should be posting on social media. I'm going to read you some of the concerns and fears of other aspiring podcasters and beginning podcasters. So some of you mentioned that you don't have the time to post on social media. You mentioned that you don't know what you should be posting on social media, how to keep up with it, how to take clips and put it on social media, how to keep your social media rich with content, how to be original with your content, what's the ideal times, how do you struggling with coming up with something unique for social media posts, and then promoting beyond kind of just the empty constant tweeting and Facebook posting. So I understand, right? One thing that a lot of people talk about when you are launching your podcast and you're trying to promote it is to post on social media, post on Instagram, post on Facebook, post on Twitter. I think the issue is that a lot of people think that they don't have the ability to create social media content, or at least enough social media content to be posting at least daily. I think what happens in that case is that because you're not sure that you can promote daily, you're not sure that you can post a new image, a new video on Facebook and on Instagram daily. You just choose not to do anything at all. You kind of half-ass it and post every once in a while, and then when you feel guilty about it again, come back and post again, and you kind of just half-ass the approach. I think it's because, again, you're worried that you don't have enough content to be able to post at least every single day. So I think what you got to do is stop thinking about social media as a totally different platform, which requires brand new, completely different content. For example, if you look at comedians, right? Comedians, a lot of them have podcasts, and what you start to see is that you watch comedians, what they talk about in their podcast is very, very similar to what they do in their stand-up special. As a matter of fact, they take the content that they create in the podcast is kind of like the starting point, the point where they talk in depth and kind of broadly as well, and just wide about all different things they might want to talk about. And then on social media, or in their case, in the comedian's case, on their stand-up special, they take out the best parts of their podcast and turn them into social media, into their stand-up bits, right, into their stand-up sets. I think you take the same exact approach, right? If comedians are doing, and they're doing successfully, they're selling, $50 tickets to $200 tickets for their show to get people to come on and essentially hear the same things that they would have heard in the podcast. You can do the exact same thing with your social media posts. So what I'm saying is that rather than coming on social media, sitting on Instagram, sitting on Facebook, and trying to, rack your brain and stress out and pull your hair and think about what's something new I can create that I can talk about on social media to then promote my podcast. Don't do it that way. Take the content you've already created from your podcast, whether that means the idea that you talked about on the podcast or even the parts of the podcast itself, and turn those into social media posts. So that's what we're doing exactly today with the Podcasting Secrets Instagram. If you go over there, you'll see us repurposing a lot of content. So a lot of stuff. So the way it starts is that I go on Facebook Live right now. That gets turned into a podcast episode. And then we create these audiograms, which are basically video files that are clips of the podcast, the sections that I think are the most powerful, that are the best excerpts. Turn those into posts. We share this as an Instagram story. We turn to Instagram TV and just repurpose everything. So I create content once, and we split it up into what's called kind of micro content. And I've heard this over and over again. It's starting to become more and more of a trend. Gary Vee talks about this a lot, and I'm actually hearing a lot too from the entrepreneurs that come on a Shopify Masters podcast. For example, one company that sells this innovative kind of beer case koozie. It's basically it's a koozie for your 12-pack, and what they do is that they'll go out on the weekends and record a 20-minute video of them hanging out, partying, having fun, and then taking that and splitting it up into micro content and sharing it over an entire month. They take like a 20-minute video, create 10 to 20 clips out of it, and that's their social media strategy. So don't try to think of creating something brand new. Don't stress about creating something completely brand new. Instead, take what you've already done. Take all the work that you've already done with the podcast and find ways to turn it into the micro content and share it on social media. So again, that's what we already do. Again, if you look at the Podcasting Secrets Instagram, that's what we do. If you want to see an example of how we take the podcast and turn it into something that is shareable on social media. The only thing I think about is make it native to that platform, right? You can't take a 30-minute podcast, hour-long podcast, and just put it on Instagram, because first of all, it won't work on that platform. But the content can be the same. Just cut it differently to make sure that it fits onto that platform that you've chosen. And again, don't stress about creating brand new content. Instead, think about how to take content you've already created, all the work you put into it, and then repurposing it on different platforms. Maybe if you want to be a little bit more original, add a little bit of flavor to it because you're reposting it. Yeah, work off of that content as a base, but don't sit there and just try to think of something brand new each time. Work off of the hard work you already put into by putting out your podcast episodes. So I hope that helps you out. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.